All right, today is June 5th, 2026. It is 2:03 a.m. There is a lot going on social media. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to record everything. All of this I put. So I might have different parts, different videos. I'm gonna try to keep them 30 minutes. All right, hopefully I don't have too much to say. All right, so let's go straight on X. First tweet. This isn't it. It's further down the list because it has to do with other country, Albania. All right, so let's start with this. The media celebrates William's new skills while ignoring the Crown's billions and hidden wealth, Andrew's security bills and evicted tenant farmers, and qualified barmen, but unaccountable Crown priorities. Abolish the monarchy. In one of the videos I did sometimes this week, could have been yesterday, I shared this with you guys. One of the squad shared that cover story. So there's a video of it. Let's see. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh shit, a minute and 45 seconds. Let me go through it really quickly. Him pouring beer. Oh my God. There was something I saw of Trump clapping about mediocre. You know what? There's something I'm thinking about. Two tweets that I came across I didn't put on the list. I'm gonna put. One, there's this CBS anchorman they fired, and he did a speech. How do you call this? When he speak at a graduation, and when he was saying how we applaud mediocre. And then there's a tweet of Trump sitting at the Oval Office, look miserable. But let me go look for them. I'm done with this. Let's see what other people have to say. Men with drinking problem and the embarrassing lowest public service. Interaction numbers goes on front of biased national newspapers read by rich people who aren't grappling with cost of living. What? It's the thing that they're doing globally. Okay? Instead, they're showing us mediocre thing. Okay, there's the rolling eye. Their world is just one big theme park, and they are taking us for a ride, and we're paying for it. Yeah. What on earth are you building on about now? There's this. If the man is a drunk, is it wise to showcase it like this? I don't know. Let me go look for those things that I'm talking about, that I just mentioned. Okay, so this is one of the videos that I'm making reference to. Alright, CBS legend speaks out after firing Scott Pelley is going to spill all of the tea and speak all of the truth now. Alright, listen to him. The video is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Listen to what he's saying here. Alright, so this is what the media in the UK and the US and probably elsewhere as well, alright, they are glorifying mediocrity. People with integrity, with knowledge, who wants to help you understand things, they do not want you to watch this type of people. This is why they fire him. He is too good for the people because the rich and powerful want the population to remain dumb. Listen to him. This is a video I've already shared, but I thought I'd share it again since I'm, talking about this mediocrity that I just showed you on the previous tweet.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes.
There it is.
And heroes criminals.
There it is.
Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends.
They just fired him.
All right.
Scott Pell.
So that's the part that I wanted you to hear. Anything that is informative, that will enlighten you, that will give you the power of free thinking. They do not want you to know that. But instead, where's that previous thing that I was just showing you? William thing. Okay? They'll spend hours and hours to show you nonsense like this. All right? Clapping for someone who's pouring beer. There's another video that I saw. I didn't find the part regarding Trump. Listen to this young lady here. I had this tweet further down, but since we're talking about this now, after seeing the nonsense of William, I thought I'd share this with you. Former 70-year union rep here, I encountered poor and working class whites who will break union votes for white owners of capital. This was a regular thing. That's when it became clear to me that race solidarity superseded class. Official from Israel came to the United States saying that they're most threatened. Okay, threatened. How did he put? She put it. What's threatened to Israel is young. What is it? Young African Americans.
Video of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varnai Shorer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
Because they cannot fool us. All right? I think African American is the last group that they cannot deter. They cannot fool. So therefore, we all threat to them because they want to control everything. So let's listen to this young lady. I didn't listen to it yet, but when I read the caption and I put it on the list, and since I brought up the nonsense that William was doing, I thought I'd share that with you as well. All right, 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
The reason why poor white people continue to support Donald Trump, even though his policy directly makes their lives even worse, is because they don't actually vote for politicians on the basis of policy. They actually vote for ideology. Donald Trump embodies whiteness and he upholds white supremacy. And for a lot of poor white people who have accomplished nothing in life, who have very little access to opportunity, upholding something that gives them worth, even though it's based on the one thing that they had no control over, even though it's based on a lie, is more important than fighting for a system where everyone benefits. And this.
All right, as I'm listening to her, this is something I've said in the past. What is it? Regarding the 2024 election. I truly believe, okay, they were trying to influence Biden. They know Biden was going to win. But these people are in a time slot where they want to achieve something. In order for them to achieve it, government needs to be corrupted. In my humble opinion, I feel like they wanted Biden to do something. And Biden said no. So they were putting so much pressure on Biden. The next best thing for these people, they were like, if you cannot do it, then you're going to have to step down. Then he did it in a timely manner. He stepped down. And then, because they know Kamala Harris is the next one, or maybe they didn't expect the time frame will be qualified for what you call Vice President Kamala Harris to be on the ballot. But whatever had happened, it was legal. She fell within the time frame, and then she ran her thing. But when you look back, once Biden stepped down, did the Trump administration even tell us what was their plan? They went straight to racism. Everything, everywhere that they went, straight racism. And that's what got him in power again. Okay, they didn't talk about any policies, nothing. They even went to Madison Square Garden and just trashed every other country. And Latinos, including Dominican Republic, they're gonna learn the hard way. Let me finish listening to this.
This is why there's always a sort of state of confusion when people say, how can you vote against universal health care? Why would you not want more money going to schools? Why are you okay with a politician blatantly taking your tax dollars and pocketing it, rather than using it for the greater good? When poor Europeans came to America, they received a benefit in America that they were not afforded in Europe, and that was whiteness. And all they had to do was abandon everything they learned in Europe, abandon their heritage, their language, their customs, their traditions, anglicize their names, and they were afforded every single privilege that they did not have in Europe. They could be entrepreneurs, have access to loans, send their children to good schools. They were finally on the top of the hierarchy. And I don't think people realize how much success in building wealth and having money is tied up into whiteness. It is a political term.
And this is what they're trying to do in the Middle East as well. Whatever they did in the United States, this is what they're trying to do in the Middle East. But we have a very small window of opportunity to make things right. Right now, we're having those well-minded people like this anchorman, was it Scott Pelley, who was doing the speech at the graduation. His group of well-minded journalism, they are about to go. And now we are living with people in my generation who's writing nonsense. All right, we have a very small window of opportunity to make things right. Let's finish listening to her and then go to the next one. I didn't see the one regarding Trump.
That was born out of capitalism. And so for these white people who have not actually succeeded under this system, whiteness means everything to them. This is why you have poor people who are so against systems like socialism, even though it would give them more power. It would give them more agency. That would actually require that they give up the one thing that they value the most, the one thing that gives them value. And if that means worshiping someone like Donald Trump, while he destroys Social Security, makes their lives more unaffordable, makes it more difficult for them to access healthcare, that is what they're willing to sacrifice.
So people like this, we need to leave them behind. And I'm seeing a lot of YouTube videos where white people are trying, literally, they are so freaking stupid, taking credit for everything that black people have done. And then in their mind, they still think black people don't know anything, didn't create anything. While their main focus is to destroy, how could they have time to create? All right. This is not to say there are some good white people who still trying to do things, but if it wasn't for some of black people foundation of creating the foundation of things, they will not have the ability to improve on some of those creation. All right, let's go to the next tweet. I completely went 360 after seeing that video of William, people clapping for him for pouring beer. All right, so now back to my list again. 10 friends defends Meghan Sussex and leaves Vanessa Feltz with no drama to sell. All right, I'm not gonna read this. For a minute, I thought that was a video. Is it a video? No, it says image. Yeah, that's an image. I would love to hear what they say. Okay, Vanessa Feltz, who hurt you? The ex-husband who cheated on you for years. Oh, okay, I don't know anything about her. The young studs, several years your junior, who cheated on you with load of women, or were you the main culprit who was at fault? Sure, it takes two to tango, but so is life. The decision we've all made are ours to reconcile with. All right, yes, and she tried her hardest to squeeze an ounce of negativity, but 10 didn't give her a drop. She only exposed her own bitterness. Why didn't she ask about bullying and Queen Eye and him selling his house because he broke? Okay, I don't know anything about that. What are they making reference to? There's one comment underneath it. Okay, I cannot see it. Why didn't they want to hear about that 10 was doing? He is so awesome. It's an insult to 10 that they are only interested in Meghan. Let's leave that alone. Next tweet. This world is like upside down. Things that they elevating a mediocrity, but just like that commencement speech that Scott Pelley was doing. OMG, how utterly disgusting is Prince William? There is cosplaying Sussexes. Then there's this. Meghan, a woman, has been outspoken on period poverty for decades. This other clown imagines he can sound relevant by evoking his daughter. Imagine how mortified Charlotte will be. There's one tweet. I don't know if I have it or is it this one? No. Even the first time when I mentioned it in one of the videos I did yesterday, I had no words. I'm like, why will they talk about her period on national television? If you're talking about women period just in general, I could understand. But specifically about her, that's a little bit embarrassing. Alright, so there's People magazine here. Prince William acknowledges period stigma and says he'll lean on Kate Middleton for future talks with Princess Charlotte period. Okay, now I think I have a sense of it. Because this, even though Meghan have been talking about this for a long time, I think what's happening with the palace or with the William group, they're trying to be relevant. So they do not know what else to do, in my humble opinion. So they're going back to some of the topics that Meghan have spoken about that is popular. So one of those things was this, about women period. But that's not the topic for William. Yes, it could be, but if they were talking about it just in general. But they bring especially Charlotte. Of all people, why? This is a minor. Oh my God. How old is she? Let me look it up. God, she's 11. So she probably starting to have her period now. But that freaking ass. These people are freaking ridiculous. That's not a discussion for the media to talk about at all. That's between her parents. I don't know. She's still too young to be doing things like this in public. She should be, focusing on her studies. If they want her to do something, like working royal, because they start these kids very young. Instead of teaching her about public speaking, this is the time for her pretty much to train her. That's the time to train her. I was gonna say, if she wants to bring topic about whatever, if they want her to be working well, but when you wrap your head around it, she's 11. This is the time for her to be training public speaking and start letting her know what her position is all about, and she could start thinking of what topic she will want to discuss when she's at age. Oh my God, no matter which way you look at it, it's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so there's that. No comment. Relevance. William Parker Bowles didn't acknowledge anything besides the fact that he's clueless about what happens with women. I was kind of surprised when I first heard the video. I was like, is that what I heard? And then they said it again. I was like, what? It's in one of the videos of yesterday's date. Guy has 3 children and doesn't know about period, wasn't even aware of the subject matter. Why did he bother showing up once a clown? Did they tell him what they were going to discuss? Yeah, they probably know in advance. Probably he should have said, no, let's pick a different topic. Oh my God, this man was born in the 80s to a really progressive woman who can be comfortably describing as a feminist. That woman forged her own path and went against 1,000-year institution. Yet he came out a mediocre. Well, this is something I've said in the past. Whatever Princess Diana was trying to teach him, once she passed, the palace erased it. They tried to do the same. Well, Yes, they did try to do the same with Harry, but not in the same capacity as William. They might have even ignored Harry. They were painting Harry to be in a certain box. Drinking, smoking, do drug, be a clown, so the paper could talk about and mock her, put a mockery out of him, so the other brother could look good. But that script changed. All right? He met Meghan, and then he had his own path. Even though before Meghan, he was trying to cut out his own path. But they were keep on putting him down. And then he adjusts himself, learn how the people around him behave, and he maneuver around them. Until he met Meghan, and then he has his own focus. And then the brother gave him a huge favor and kicked him out because he was not following the script. Let's leave this topic on. Oh, that's all I have. Let's finish it. He always pick topic he knows nothing about. I mean, there's being a feminist. Okay, I did read everything. All right, Kate will have had an excuse to say she's discussing period poverty with Charlotte or visited a project. I don't know. I really don't know what these people are trying to do. Next week, William and Kate. Oh my God, I'm already 20-something minutes. All right. This I posted on my community board, and whoever tagged me on it, thank you, because lately I haven't had time to be online even though I'm still showing videos, I can't really be online that much. This project that I'm working on, personal project. Okay. William and Kate lie through their teeth. They heavily briefed the press that they personally funded all renovation to Forest Lodge. They did not. Almost £500,000 renovation was paid for by the Crown Estate. I don't even know why they're lying. I really don't. I don't understand why they even lie. I don't know. No wonder they were getting out certain financial information like how much rent they pay and stamp duty. They wanted to get ahead of this. How dare they? Okay, what was this? Oh, this is very blurry. If you could read it, read it. It's very blurry to me. Maybe I could make it. The Prince and Princess of Wales benefited from £400,000 and repairs to their new home paid for by the Crown Estate before moving in. I don't know. There's some people who don't have like real problem, but they manufacture their own problem to show that they like everybody. I don't freaking understand.
Do you see any scenario by which Harry and Meghan overshadow Kate and
Oh,
William?
yes, I do. I do. I mean, this is immediately was my first thought. You know, this could be a problem.
Yes, you guys could make fun of me like I don't know. Before I thought I understand them, but there is no reason for any of this nonsense. Okay. This is why I say I like Princess Anne. She just does her thing and move on. There's no reason to create all this nonsense. Actually, the media lied. They did not verify what they were reporting. That is true. That is true. But from past experience, other what is it where they say the media usually they tell the media what to say. So it could be that, like something like this.
The press and the media.
That's
and as
true.
they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why haven't...
And if it comes from Kensington Palace,
Right.
why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea
Why are there never any
Well, I think that's
stories
fascinating.
about Prince William?
Were
Jeremy?
William and Kate involved in briefing against them originally? I don't know.
That she started a campaign in the British press to pave the way for a marriage, and you wrote, I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy.
Mm-hmm.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press. And there was open willingness on both sides to trade of information. And with a family built on hierarchy, and with her on the way to being Queen Consort, there was going to be people or bodies left in the street because of that.
All right. As usual, William and Kate are lying and grifting money from wherever he can. They think it's not enough for them to get £24 million per year of free money. The Crown Estate doesn't belong to them. Right? The Crown Estate is a multi-million pound private portfolio that belongs to the nation. But the people are not benefiting from it. You see what's happening? Well, it might be in a different video. Albania. Is it not Albania? What's the country? Yeah, Albania is having issue. Those people are selling the land. They got an office where they're supposed to work for the people, but once they get in office, you have Israel undercut the people, go straight to one person to sell them a land, thinking that it's legal, and it's happening in Haiti too. Oh my God. And then they buy the land and make it their own, and then they cut out people, the people of that nation. Okay, perfect example. Whatever happened in the Middle East, what they did to Palestinians. Okay, I've said this so many times. Palestinians risk their lives to show us at our time what these people are capable of doing. Wherever Israel is trying to settle, whatever they did to Palestine, be ready for yours. Okay? That's the only way I could put it. And this is why my channel is not doing well. Surely the people who are responsible for this are the management of the Crown Estate and not the Windsors. The management have failed in their role. They should not be allowing Charles to make such decision. Well, they're all part of it. They're all part of it. You have a king. You think he's not part of it? No. King Charles does not decide who lives at the Crown Estate. Well, look what happened to Harry. The Crown Estate is a massive independent commercial real estate business, not the king's personal property. And then why are they making those decisions? What is it? There's things that been reported. William is selling certain things. There's that gray area. Paper saying one thing. This is saying one thing. There's that gray area, but yet the monarchy, whoever's in charge, is making decision. In my humble opinion, no land from the Crown Estate should be sold. Once these people are out of there, it belongs to the people of the country, of respective countries. There's that. You could read. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna leave that alone. Oh, I'm not gonna read all of this. Alright, so there's that. You could pause and read some of the comments. You could pause and read. Alright, where was I? Let's go to the next tweet. King Charles. Okay, so this one is another thing I shared on my community board. Alright, attention folks, attention folks. Beatrice and Eugenie do not pay rent for their royal residences. Charles pay for them at a discount of 40%. Prince and Princess Michael of Kent do not pay rent for their royal residence. Alright, let's see here. Can I read that? His daughter Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, non-working members of the royal family, pay nothing for their home at St. James Palace and Kensington Palace. Instead, their rent is covered by the King's private fund and charged at a discount rate of about 40% below the market value. The report, the most comprehensive official examination of royal property, finances, in recent times, shed light on complex system of Crown Estate and royal household leases, through which royals and their retainers receive what amount to an indirect public subsidy for their accommodation. Royal finances have come under intense scrutiny after a Times investigation revealed that Andrew was required to pay only a peppercorn rent if demanded for 20 years after initial payment for Royal Lodge refurbishment. The NAO document shows, okay, one, like Beatrice and Eugenie, Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, who are non-working royals, did not personally pay for their homes and royal palaces. The Prince and Princess of Wales benefited from £400,000 and repairs to their new home, paid for by the Crown Estate for moving in. The Duke of Edinburgh privately profited from subletting arrangement at his Bagshot Park residence. 145 properties and palaces occupied by members of the household staff were... There's all of this. I'm surprised I was able to read it. Okay, but when Harry told his papa that he had proposed to Meghan, King Charles III told Harry there was no money to feed or clothe Meghan.
driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name, because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla? It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
The handwriting was on the wall from the word go. Can you link the full report or archive and share it, please? Harry did not pay rent. The refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage was also a gift. When Harry and Meghan voluntarily left after a short period, they opted to rightfully pay for taxpayers back for refurbishment. If they had stayed working royal, they would have a home gratis. Okay. Part of this is right, part of it is wrong. And I think she rearranged the way things happen. Let me go write what I can. Hopefully it fits in one tweet. It took me a while. It's not full sentences, but I try to make it one tweet. So I'm responding to this. There's me here. Part of what you're saying is true, but in wrong order. The British media wanted access to Harry and Meghan when they were in the UK. Harry and Meghan said no. The British media started talking about Frogmore Cottage was tax funded. Harry and Meghan decided to repay the renovation. Then William told Harry not to be a working royal. Harry went to USA, but technically Canada, then to the US. All right. Harry wanted to keep Frogmore Cottage as his headquarters when he's in the UK. King Charles III took it. All right, so that's all my receipt. Let me reply to it and let me show you. You could pause and read this. Okay, after their wedding, Harry and Meghan gifted Frogmore Cottage by Queen Elizabeth. All right, it was a gift. And this is where William kicked Harry out. Not being working royal. Remember the 50-50? All right, it was rejected. I could write all of this, but I don't have enough character to put it. All right, so there's this here. Yes, the British media desire intense 24/7 access to Prince Harry and Meghan. And then I highlighted this. Harry and Meghan explicitly rejected this traditional royal media bargain. Harry was fiercely protective of his family privacy. Okay, so there's all of that. You could pause and read. All right, and then there's this. King Charles has evicted Prince Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage. Okay, so this is my receipt. So that's that. What is it? Let me see how she responded to that. All right. Willie and Research Cath didn't stay in KP for long either. After, we had paid for the renovation there. There's a lot of things that's going on. All right, so that's that. Let me leave it alone. I'll wait and see if this one they responded, and I'll share it with you. Let's go to the next one. Oh my God. After maybe this, I might stop this video. Alright, so there's this shocking. A scathing new National Audit Office report exposes King Charles' privately funded luxury palace lifestyle for non-working royals, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. There's that. They're not even working royal, but yet there's money for them. Remember when Charles claimed he had no money to support his own son and the only biracial woman in the royal family? Turned out the bank is wide open if you are the daughter of disgraced Prince Andrew. The hypocrisy is unreal. The public is being taken for a completely ride. There's all this hashtag. Right? And private, the king is funding a luxury life for Beatrice and Eugenie. So like I usually say, don't listen to what they're saying. Just look what they do. So this is one of those. Charles is a spineless, self-absorbed waste of space who is undeserving of the title king. His choices and action are frankly evil. I will never understand him turning his back on his own son and his family. No book or interview deserves this level of retribution. Disgusting man. All right, just like that video that I was just sharing with you, that black woman was saying that these people, they will to stay in line with their race, they will, anything that will benefit them, they will vote against it. All right, this man, when Eugenie moved in the Frogmore after Harry and Meghan escaping the U.S., Charles stealing their wedding gift from Queen Elizabeth, Charles paid for Eugenie to live in Frogmore. What a petty ass. There's the F word here. Let me pause this. Okay, he is fooling the public to think he is slimming down the royal family. All right. The problem is not just the money itself. The problem is that unequal treatment creates the impression that rules are flexible depending on who benefits from them. Exactly. Your money, you move on. Just like it's the money that's still taking care of the pedo Andrew. Oh yes. And your money that Queen Elizabeth II used to make that hush money to Virginia Giuffre. God rest her soul. You idiots are too dumb for words, but hey, do you? I agree with that. They're saying money is coming from this much. Are these people actually ever on anything? It's the people's money. I agree with that. Let's move on. Alright, so let's see here. Paying, okay. I want to finish with that topic of paying for the York sisters. So when I start the next video, I start with a different topic. Alright, so there's the squad making fun of it. Sources said the arrangement for Beatrice and Eugenie was put in place during the reign of Queen Elizabeth, who was very fond of her granddaughters, and the king had agreed to honor it. Charles isn't playing. He's throwing his mom, Queen Elizabeth II, under the bus. That's the laugh here. Okay. Okay, I believe it, but King Charles decided to adjust Prince Harry's arrangement. Baggage forgot. I actually believe it. I believe the Queen wanted to house her family members, but the fact that Charles paid their rent on their behalf while he turns around and kicks Harry and his family out over a book is rage-inducing. It's the people around him. I mean, Harry didn't say anything that devastating for him to make that huge decision. I don't know. Beatrice and Eugenie were not working royals, neither were Harry and Meghan when they got kicked out. Yet Beatrice and Eugenie get to keep their home rent-free while Harry got evicted and was paying market rent. Was that Jabson was saying something in one of the videos yesterday that Harry had a huge house in the U.S. and his excuse did not make sense to me at all. Okay. When you compare with the royal family who have several homes, it doesn't make any sense. I don't even think he believes it, but they probably told him, go sell this, go try to sell this nonsense to the public. It doesn't make sense to me. All right, I am actually in a fit of rage over this. I cannot believe this whole time they've been living there rent-free and Charles has been paying for them. And he actually had the effing balls to kick Harry out of the home the Queen gave him. This is why I'm proud of Harry for spare. He shared his story and in the process gained financial freedom. I still think there's another book to be written once Charles is dead. That's the ghost. I read this whole effing article and counted how many people get free housing. Charles deserves hell. Right? People in the squad haven't learned to use their critical thinking after all this BS. Why did they release this info now? Why is no one talking about the email they sat on? They use every recent Lord Chamberlain full name, bar one, William Peel. Why? I don't know. This national audit was telegraphed as coming out around summer as far back as February 2026, at the height of the Andrew and the Peppercorn rent scandal over Royal Lodge. No deflection here, just a report that was already scheduled to come out. And this is still bad for the palace, UK Royal Finances, and spotlight after Andrew downfall. Okay, so that's what I like the squad. They always bring receipt. There it is here, February 5th, 2026. Alright, so that's that. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh my god, still Andrew. Okay, let's finish with Andrew. Okay, 38 minutes. Okay, so there's this. I share it on my community board. Guys, OMG, did someone punch Andrew in the face? Anyone know William's whereabouts? Well, he was at a bar pouring drinks. Did they actually... I don't know. Maybe this is another deflection. They put makeup. I don't know. I cannot read these people anymore. But I think they probably know time is about to come. They are in a hot seat right now. So this is probably my last one for this video. Okay, same picture again, but different topic. Okay, guys, OMG, did someone punch Andrew in the face? Anyone from Williams whereabouts? Okay, same thing, but it looks like they posted twice. The other one didn't have any comment. He could have fallen. That could be true, Lord. Okay, thank you for making my day. You made me laugh so hard. That family is so tired of bullying. Oh my god, what did Willie Parker Bowles do? Allegedly, we don't know. They could just try to, what do you call this? Something to distract us to talk about. The scummy press will probably blame Meghan. Blaming a horse in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, he's waiting and wishing. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? There's all of that. If William did this, it will be the first time I've ever respected him. OMG, someone give pedo prince a black eye. Allegedly, we don't know. So I think I'm done with this. The next video that I'm gonna start the tweet with is this. Alright, we're gonna start with that. Where is it? There's no comment, so let me just include it here. If you pay attention to racists on social media, you just stop living, because people like the owner of this app have made racism a source of income, so people won't stop. That is true. Alright, so I'm done with this because there's no comment. Alright, next tweet I will start the video with. I changed it. We're gonna start talking about Lily. Alright, but in the Daily Fail, the derangers type of form. If you go on PYTE, I spoke about the squad wishing Lily happy birthday and things like that. So we're gonna start the next video with this. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. You see, they literally suppressing the channel even more. So just know I try to have at least one video a day. Even if you're not being notified about it, just come and check my channel to see what I'm talking about in terms of tweet, if you care about that. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.
Wanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.